There's no doubt about it. It's been a little while coming. You know, I won't lie. There's a bit of relief in it as well. 4 goals, clean sheet, some superb performances, a fantastic debut from Jacob, and a result that was obviously much needed for the group to keep us in a competitive position. And as I said, more than once, we're in a fight with a number of teams, and tonight was very, very important that we found a way through to 3 points.
Man, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, we talked all week kind of just about how you felt like you needed 1 goal to kind of get the ball rolling. You kept pushing even after it was 3-4 nothing. Left Tanya and CJ on there. Was that kind of part of that, just wanting to attack that goal to make sure it kept going?
There were so many positives tonight. I mean, Hani was exceptional again. 2 outstanding goals. The first goal is, you know, from such an acute angle, and his free kick was sublime. I actually thought there were 2 or 3 other opportunities that might have been a little bit easier for him that he managed to, you know, miss out on, which was obviously disappointing for him. But to your point, I'm really keen for CJ to get on the sheet. I only took Randall off because he's had 4 bookings, and you know, want to make sure that he's available for us next weekend. But you know, for both of those guys, I'm really, really keen for them to, you know, to get themselves back on track. And I was really hopeful that Hani might find his hat-trick somewhere. So when the guys have worked that hard to get into such a promising position, I felt as though they'd worked for the opportunity to stay on the field, and to try and put themselves in an encouraging position.
You mentioned Schaffelberg coming in. Apparently, he had just one training session. I think you mentioned it on Friday, just the fact that he hasn't been around. So to have this type of performance on top of the goal, the connections he seemed to be having, in eagerness to want to find CJ and Hani, and as well as, you know, taking some shots of his own. What did you think of his entire performance and confidence?
Well, you can see from the fact that he started the game that you know, certainly keen for him to add the type of vertical threat that he presents. You know, that natural left-sided play when he got himself in a good position. I think he showed the fullback exactly what he was capable of athletically. The fullback then decided, okay, well, we're not going to get in a race here. I could have a problem, so I'll stand a couple of yards off. And now it earns Jacob the opportunity, you know, to cross the ball and to pick his spot from a fullback that's a little bit further away. But you got to earn that, and he did. And I think the other thing is when you look at what he's produced in 45 minutes with not much work, certainly not with us. I know he's been out of the group in Toronto for obvious reasons once the loan period got done, so there's no injury fears. He'd put a lot into that first half, and I think he was feeling the effects. I was concerned that there could be a problem, hence him coming out of the break. I think, you know, the additions of Jacob, Shaq over the last, 2-3 weeks have given us some depth now to the group. You know, those guys coming in are now the starting bodies. They give us a different dimension. And now you've got players coming into the game that in some cases, like Alex, have been terrific for us throughout the season. But some of them need a little bit of a break as well to find some sharpness again. You know, they've played a lot of football. When they have, they've given us an awful lot. So it gives us more options and more opportunity.
Coach, can you tell me a little bit about the game plan you and your staff had earlier this week going to this game, adding Jacob into the starting lineup, and for how well the defense played against a really good Dallas team?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, we weren't sure when Jacob was going to get in. So we haven't had many sessions with him. But as I've said, his addition into the group, even in a short period of time, a short window of 45 minutes, I mean, I couldn't have wished for any more. You know, his goal gives us a little bit of breathing space. is instrumental in Hani's free kick, earning it. You know, the power and pace that he has through the middle of the field, you know, was a very different look for us. But in terms of you know, game plan in Dallas, of course, we've run into them once. I think they've improved dramatically since they beat us 2-0. I mean, their form's been very good. Dealing with that three-man midfield and a front line that's been very, very effective. No doubt about it. I'm sure they missed Ferreira up front, but they've got plenty of very bright, purposeful, positive forwards. And I thought the back line did a really good job. We kept the lines tight, being in a good position and scoring goals and getting off to a good start as we did. Vitally important to any game. I think the opening 8 or 9 minutes, I'm not sure they actually were able to get out of their half of the field, which, you know, is a terrific mindset from the group. There was a real appetite how they went about their work. And to obviously get in front early as well was probably more than I'd wish for.
Gary, when you look at Hani, obviously it's just another chapter of a great player having another great season, perhaps better than last season. He scores from everywhere, from every angle, like you just said. But how important it is, because you discussed that with us before, that 2 other players got into the score sheet tonight.
Huge. It's been an Achilles heel of the group. We've created chances. We saw that last week. Got in some excellent positions and were unable to add the final touches to that. And, you know, the real big difference tonight are those goals. And somehow you've just got to get the ball across the line sometimes. And it impacted the game last week. It took an awful lot for us to get on level terms against Minnesota. And I've got to be honest, with probably similar looks at goal. Maybe Minnesota had 1 or 2 better looks last week, but I would have to say not too many clear sights of goal for either side. You know, Minnesota were able to carve out 2 goals, and tonight we've kept a clean sheet, which, by the way, is a big boost as well. It's been, for sure, our flattest period, you know, since we've been in MLS, and a big confidence boost, not only to win, but in the manner that we've won. Very important juncture in the season, and of course the big hope is that really gives everyone a shot in the arm.
Thank you. We're going to transition to those on the Zoom with a couple questions there, and then we'll have a couple follow-ups here. Tim, go ahead.
Hey, Gary, we talked a lot about scoring 4 goals, which obviously is very notable for you guys, but held FC Dallas, I believe, without a shot on target for the first time for them all year that they have been unable to get a shot on target. What was so crucial to your defensive performance tonight?
I think there have been a lot of good things that have been going on. There's no doubt, you know, you concede 4 goals against Toronto and 2 against Minnesota at home. It's not been something we've been used to. There were some players that were feeling the pinch. You know, their pride was dented. And I think you've seen a group tonight that have come out in the opening exchanges with a point to prove. Couple of things can happen, you know, when you're in a difficult place. You can buckle and you can go under, or you can come out fighting. And it doesn't always mean you're going to win, but if you come out fighting, you've at least got a chance. And I think we've seen a team tonight that believe there's still plenty left in this season yet. We needed a victory against one of the better sides to prove to ourselves, to prove to the league, to keep us in a competitive position. Lots of different reasons why the result tonight was so very important. But I think you got a group of players in there that wanted to prove to themselves and the fans as much as anything that we still got a bit left in the tank.
Edgar, I'm not sure if you have a question, but I don't wanna skip you. If you do, go ahead. Otherwise, we'll return to the room here. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, during the week, you said something to the effect of you take the worst performance in the world if it resulted in a win. Just personally, how do you feel not only getting the win, but arguably your best performance?
Yeah, and I hope everyone understands the context of that. The fact is, if you can continue to back up good performances and, creative opportunities at home or anywhere else, you'd like to think in the end you're going to get your reward for that. So I would have taken a poor performance, an edgy performance, and a victory tonight, because there isn't anything I can do to replace confidence that a result like this gives the team and the players. But as I said, looking at the board, I think it was 18 efforts, 8 on target, 9 on target, wherever it was. Very similar stats to the last 2 games, really. We're creating a lot again here. We're looking bright. We look purposeful. There's some good dimensions to the group, and the 2 that I've spoken about earlier, Jacob and Shaq, give us something very different that we haven't had for the majority of the season, and that just enhances what we've had. The likes of Randall, CJ, and Hanny, who have been, tireless in the way they're going about their business. It gives them a bit of respite. It opens the game up a little bit more. It gives Hanny and Randall a little bit of an opportunity to find pockets that weren't necessarily there. It stretches the game that we haven't been able to do too often. So, some real positives. I'm obviously delighted in the way that the night's gone. It's been a little while since we've tasted victory, and you forget what it's like. So I'm pleased that everyone's been able to taste it, but certainly not too excited to be understanding the fact that we've got a lot of work to do to stay above the line, and we've got a lot of tough games coming up.
Thank you, Coach. One more question and then we'll go.
Yeah, a lot of the conversation tonight, Gary, has been about the way you guys won, the win in itself. But given that it's at home, obviously the conversation previously has been about what it's meant to try and establish home field advantage at this place. What does that mean, given that you did it at home?
Listen, if you're going to win games, you want to do it at home. If your away form falters, be away from the spotlight and do it in somebody else's backyard where the home fans don't see it, don't experience it. Okay. It's been unfortunate. Some of our better displays and some of our better victories have come away from home, which, really is out of keeping in the way that the last 2 seasons have gone. So it is strange, but it's also very, very pleasing, to your point, that we've been able to score 4 goals. Not only 4 goals, we've created a lot of other opportunities that may well have, extended that lead. There was an appetite, as there has been in the last couple of games at home. I think the guys understand, appreciate what we want to be here, how we want to play. The output has been very, very similar, but the results have been very different. And the only thing I can maybe attribute that to is a little bit more balance to the way that we played. Our repressing was very decent. We won the ball back quickly. I thought we limited them to few possessional moments, few moments where they started to build confidence and to get themselves into a bit of a groove, which takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of determination to keep breaking up play. But I also think when we got ourselves in good positions, a lot of our discussion has been about, okay, how do we keep the pressure on? What are the choices that you're making? And also, what does the group look like behind that coming in to keep that repressing opportunity alive? And, to the best degree, not let them out of their half. I know that's not something that we can see for 90 minutes, but I think we saw it for a very good period in the first 10 minutes. There was a lot of time that we kept them in their half, and the goal came from that. So there's something to be said about the way the guys went about their business tonight.